Power Book 2, Season 2, Episode 9, A Fair Fight. The opening scene starts off with a fairly interesting opening scene. Basically, we see Tariq walk into the classroom. And by the way, this is in lieu of the normal classroom scene, which we didn't get all episode. Basically, he walks in and sees Tate writing on the chalkboard. And eventually, Tate morphs into Jabari Reynolds. Then all of a sudden, everybody in the class turns into Carrie Milgram, Lakeisha Grant, Proctor, Ray, Kanan.
All the people Tariq was responsible for, or at least peripherally responsible, because Keisha, that was a little loose. I'm not gonna lie, that one was a little loose. It was kind of his fault, but not, Tasha didn't have to shoot her. She could have let her, she could have let her run off, but she couldn't trust that she was never gonna say nothing. So it was like, that's a toss up. Everybody else, he was directly responsible for. That was his fault. It was his fault,
especially my boy Proctor, bro. Just seeing that made me miss Proctor.
What did Proctor ever do to you? What did Proctor ever do to you? And you can't tell me, what did you think Tommy was going to do to him, Tariq? Why did you think he wanted to come up the back entrance and catch Proctor off guard? Why? What other reason? You was already a hardened criminal by then, so you can't tell me you didn't know.
Facts.
Come on, man. Yeah. So yeah, everybody else he was directly responsible for. It made me mad because we just gonna talk about everybody else that he was either loosely responsible for or just an accomplice in murdering, but we're not gonna talk about the one that he pulled the trigger on. We don't see the one that he actually did in.
Bro, he's not dead, bro.
Yeah, man. I don't know if I believe that Ghost is still alive. I would like it to be true, but everything that this room has shown me, this writer's room, since this series started, tells me that they don't like Ghost very much. So I don't see it. I don't see it. They've done a good job of making Ghost the side of Ghost, the fucking Ghost. I'm just gonna become governor and climb the political ranks and leave my drug life behind, and I don't care who I gotta dash to get there. Like, that version of Ghost is the one they're trying to cement as him, right? The version of him that matters, or the version of him that is more prevalent, even though that was like a season and a half of Ghost, as opposed to like the first 4.5 seasons, but whatever.
No, that's
but yeah, man, I the obvious cop out of Ghost being on the phone was a little irritating. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm telling you, bro, it's because he's not dead. To be honest with you, I see that theory float around a lot on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all that, but nobody ever provides any substantial evidence or any real evidence behind him not being dead. So for now, I can't believe it either.
Yeah, I agree. It's nothing there other than what we saw at the end of this episode.
For sure. Also within this scene, like I said, there was no actual classroom scene. So the thing that Tate was writing on the board was, is there such thing as a fair fight? Which, with all these people who were basically unfairly killed by Tariq and his being a whole monster arc that they've got going on here. Any thoughts about that? Any thoughts about any of them not being in a fair fight with Tariq for their lives, essentially?
Yeah. How was Carrie not in a fair fight with Tariq for her life? You could have chosen to leave that man alone at any moment. Like, no one asked you to do the things you did. Well, Monet did. Let me reel it back in just a bit. Monet did. But then she told you to leave it alone and you didn't. All right. And, no one definitely told you to lie to Lauren, which put her in jeopardy. Like, she did a lot of things that were offensive, right? Like, when I think of, or Ray, come on, man. No, ain't no way. Yeah, Ray, you had, only thing you had to do was not shoot a 13-year-old girl or a 14-year-old girl, however old Tariq was when that shit happened. That's all you had to do, was not murder a child. So I don't even like painting Tariq as this dynamo. That's not necessarily reality. But some of them, Elisa Marie's life was definitely affected. Proctor never saw it coming. Who else was in there?
Kanan got blindsided.
Kanan definitely got blindsided. So I don't know, man. Yeah, there were a few people in there that never saw it coming, and they never would have. Ghost, mainly. But there are also individuals in there that chose to engage, that chose to go on the offensive when it came to Tariq. The only reason why Cooper Sachs is working for Davis instead of in the U.S. Attorney's Office is because he chose to go on the offensive and he got caught up wincing with Tariq. So you didn't have to do none of that. You didn't have to do that shit, but you did. And so, you lost.
The last thing in this scene is something we'll probably talk about in depth, probably by the end of the episode. And what happens in the end of the episode is Lauren stops by the classroom. But again, I don't want to say anything before we get to the end of the episode because I think we have a lengthy discussion about what happens in the end. Mecca offers to pay for one-on-one coaching for Zeke. And they're in a bar as he offers this to him, which prompts me to wonder, did he get an ID that says 21 already?
I just realized how fucking hilarious that is. That he's in a bar drinking a beer. He's supposed to be 19.
Like, did he
but
get
he's
an
actually
ID already?
23, so he's like, fuck it.
I was like, wait a minute. He just gave him a beer. So he must be 21 to everybody now, or 23.
Oh my God. It really just dawned on me how hilarious that scene is. Like, I think since they haven't addressed the whole Kane 1997, Zeke 1998, but Zeke is the oldest madness, I think it's safe to assume now that was an accident. That was a slip up. And so, but now it just continues to be even more laughable because it's like, you're really asking us to accept a lot here. The 4-year gap, the inconsistency with how you've already presented the ages. And then now, like, so is nobody supposed to notice the number 1 overall NBA draft pick drinking in a bar in New York 2 years before he's legally able to? I'm sorry, the black number 1 overall draft, that's relevant because how we're gonna treat that. Number 1 overall draft pick drinking in a bar.
Somebody snapped a pic.
Like, come on, man.
Or a video in this day and age.
Come on. It wasn't even, it looked like some popular spot too. It wasn't even no dive bar. Oh, ain't nobody gonna say nothing. They gonna recognize you here. No, man, it's probably all people coming up in through here.
They was in Truth.
Don't nobody know Ezekiel Cross? Nobody?
They was in Truth, bro.
Yeah, they was definitely in Truth.
So in the next scene, Drew, as he's preparing to take drugs back from Tariq, is talking to Diana. And he basically claims that everybody in the family hates Diana for what she did at the dinner last night.
I think that was a little bit of manipulation by Drew because he had just got reamed out by his daddy, right? For obviously going through with the plan for robbing Mecca, robbing the plug, and killing Lil Guap. So now he has to get back into his dad's good graces. And he's trying to use Diana to get it. He knows to get close to Tariq, the best way to do that is through Diana. And what best way to motivate Diana against Tariq other than using the only other thing she cares about, which is the family? He knows damn well that what Monet did was dirty. He know damn well that just simply telling the fucking truth is nothing to be hated for. I don't think Lorenzo hates Diana for telling him about his treacherous wife. But Drew knows that that's probably how Diana feels. Right? So let me push the right button to make her do what she actually needs to do, because otherwise, how could I motivate her to help me move against Tariq? She told Drew that she knew that they were keeping her out of the way, or that Tariq only asked her to the courthouse so they could keep her out of the way, right? Mm-hmm. So then why go? Why go? I thought that was weird. Like, okay, so everybody know everything, right? Everybody, oh, I knew the whole time. Okay, so that's the game we playing. So then why did you go along with it? You didn't investigate? You didn't want to find out what the fuck was going on?
No,
You didn't
because she cared
care?
more about what's going on with Tariq, because she's in love with Tariq.
Even if you know he's intentionally bringing you here to take your attention away from something else? That didn't spark. I just thought that was a weird throw-in sentence there. Like, it's some more shit that stuck out to me about like dialogue wise. It just didn't make a whole lot of sense. But keep on.
In the next scene, we're at a scene with ADA Sullivan, aka Lady Lawyer, Trace, Braden, their dad, and their lawyer. Trace decides to spill all of the beans on the situation with Kane for seemingly no reason, putting them all in a predicament where ADA Sullivan's like, look, you're gonna have to tell me everything and get on the stand.
Bruh. Man, it was really frustrating to watch that, because it was just like, oh, hey, I'm Trace. Here's your case against us. Here's everything you need to possibly convict us of anything you possibly want. I'll just bend over and you can go at it whenever you want. And it was just like, bro, you think you're being hilarious and getting Braden in trouble. And the only thing you're doing is giving the prosecution more of a reason to compel you to testify in court, which puts your life in danger, which no one seems to understand every time you go talk to these cops. No one factors in the fact that, hey, the people I'm talking about may try and kill me before I see my day in court. They might murder me.
Considering it's a murder trial.
Dog, so Kane picked you up and took you on a joyride and forced you to commit crimes and sell drugs, right? And walked away and is living life afterwards, right? And you think that you tough enough to survive talking about him in court. You think you think you're gonna be good and just live out the rest of your days. He's gonna say, yes, that's me, Lorenzo Tejada Jr., aka Kane. I'm guilty. Lock me up, sir. That's what you think is gonna happen in your naive mind. So it's funny, right? It's hilarious. Get Braden in trouble and tell my dad all the horrible stuff that we went through. He's man, because none of that had to go like that. Even with the pictures, right? That's evidence of a crime against them, not evidence of them committing a crime.
Facts.
Like, even if I'm the dad, like, no, I want to hear this. Are you stupid? Are
Very
you
much so.
dumb? Like, why are you giving the prosecution I don't understand. Like, that must, you know what? When you feel like the law is there to protect you, that must be how you act. When you feel like the law is actually there to protect you, that's how you act. You act as if, you won't ever actually be burned by it. And not my kids, of course not.
But the problem with that thinking is there's a lawyer right next to you to stop you from doing that stupid shit.
And she told him to shut the hell up too. And he overrid her. Oh no, I want to hear it. Please, make an omission, make an incriminating admission here in front of the prosecution. Do it, son, because I want to hear it. Because we can't stand up and walk out the room and have this conversation in private, so that you don't have to incriminate yourself in front of a prosecutor. What are we doing here, y'all? What's going on?
Diana comes to Tariq's room with a sob story about everything going on with her family. And Tariq goes to get her some water. And while he goes down the hall to go get her some water, she takes a picture of one of his lives to open his phone, which I don't think that works, and then gets the QR code from his phone, which I also don't think that's how technology works either, but basically steals the QR code so that she can get access to all the drugs that they have. And then Drew and Diana go and steal that shit.
Okay, so let's start at the sob story, right? Where she's tricking Tariq. I don't think she's at a point, because I think a lot of people are just convinced that she's love drunk over Tariq. And it's not that she doesn't like Tariq, but I don't think that she's so blinded by that, like, that she can't see the board. I don't think she's so caught up in that she's above making a move, obviously, against Tariq either. I think she spoke a little bit of honesty when she was telling him, how she was feeling about the situation. That's probably how she got the emotion out of there. I do want to ask a question though. How did we go from Tariq being the master planner and the ultimate slither snake to being fooled to go leave his room unattended, his room and phone unattended for minutes with another person?
It's that, plus why was your drugs so easy to get considering you're dating 3 different women? So
I think what they were trying to do now, the whole take a picture and then use that to unlock his phone, that scared the shit out of me. I feel like we need to try that and see if that actually works, because that's scary if it does. The QR code thing makes sense though, because that was the way that when the shit blew at Stansfield and they needed a new place to distribute the drugs, that's why they used that spot so that people could scan it and open up the lockers individually. I think what they were trying to do was show that that she went and got the master code to open up all of them. So he was able to get the whole stash as opposed to just making a delivery. Because if they're sending them, if the app is sending them individual QR codes, they only sending them to open up one of them lockers. She got the joint to open up all of them. So once she got into his phone, all he had to do was go through his pictures and find it. How did she know that that's how it worked? Like, I know that he probably told her, roughly, you get a QR code, you're able to open the locker, boom, that's how you get your drugs. I don't think he told her, yes, and I also have a master QR code that opens up all of them here in my albums, here in my photo library. I have one code that opens up all of these lockers at one time. I don't believe that. So how the hell does she know that?
Plus, he's a college kid, so I would assume, even if it's not selfies of himself, that he would have a lot of pictures in his photo roll. How did she just happen to
get to it
that
fucking
one?
Quick? Yeah. It's not very strong. I can't lie to y'all, but there's just a lot of inconsistencies with the very grand story that they're telling. There's a lot of holes here.
And it's convenient to do it around something like tech, because not a lot of people are going to ask questions about the tech involved. They're just going to assume, oh, that's just how tech works.
Yeah.
Zeke goes to do a press conference in quite possibly the ugliest shirt I've seen all season. And now the NBA is probably not on his radar anymore because of this situation, but the worst luck with press.
Absolutely. He's had 2 interviews, one about a murder allegation where he spazzed and walked off, and another one where he's still faced about questions about him being 4 years older than he's supposed to be.
Plus the reporter that got socked out by Drew.
Yeah.
Like, anytime press is involved and he's there, it's always terrible.
But maybe they had to make that go away too. Yeah, he's had terrible. Get this boy some media training. Jesus Christ. But yeah, the precision of it makes me think it has to either be Monet or Mecca. It couldn't have been Lorenzo. Because how would he know that press conference was getting ready to happen? It seems like whoever leaked that knew that he was going to be up there at that time, and that's why they leaked it at that time.
Okay. Some people think it was Mecca, and along with the next scene, someone shoots at Mecca and Monet and Zeke, seemingly randomly. And as they're shooting at them, Mecca gets a good look at the person who's shooting at them. And it seems like he might know who it was.
2 options, because I don't think it's Lorenzo, because where he get the manpower? All his niggas are not picking up the phone. Remember, so it's not Lorenzo. 2 options. It's either Mecca's beef that he has with Mahoney or whoever Chef was mentioning earlier on in the season. Could be that, because he does have beef within the city. And then it also could be that Mecca is, putting on a show to try and make it seem like he's their only option, meaning Monet and Zeke. If they feel like their life is in danger, and here's your father and you're the love of your life sitting here open arms, hey, I'll protect you, I got you. The reason why I feel like it's that way is, yes, he did get a good look at whoever it was, and he didn't seem very forthcoming to Monet about it. Also, I watched him kill people. I watched him shoot guns, watched him break people's necks, watch him slit throats. He's very quick, very precise. He didn't hit nobody in that car. I don't even think he hit the car. I don't even think he hit the car.
Yeah.
Almost as if he wasn't trying to. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye on Mecca. Yeah, for sure.
Something weird going on there. And there's also something weird going on with Effie. So in the next scene, we see Effie having an argument with Tariq about Lauren. In the immediately next scene, she goes and sees Kane. Thoughts?
Snake. Again, I don't know where Tariq got so trusting of Effie. Like, did you forget this girl got you kicked out of Choke? And I'm assuming took over your drug dealing business in your stay. Like, why is he so trusting of her with all this information? I don't get it. Knowing that you're getting ready to get Lauren out of town, right? That's what you're trying to do. Obviously, Tariq found out that Lauren got Kane and Braden on the wire. Why is he so trusting of that information to give it to Effie, this person who has burned you in the past? Like, not just lied to you on some Braden shit. Like, no, like, got you kicked out of school.
Fucked up your whole situation.
So I really don't understand, man. I don't get it. I think maybe he thinks since he got her back in the beginning of Ghost that they're even. So it's cool now. So we good. I don't have to worry about her no more. But Effie's not playing with nobody, man. She find her spot in all of this situation and she continues to climb. It's like, I knew that she was doing most of this to try to keep a foothold in the business and bring Braden closer. But it's also about isolating Tariq while he's still in charge. It's also making sure that he doesn't confide in anyone else but her. That's why she doesn't speak about certain things around Braden. That's why Lauren has to go. But I can't put my hands on it because I can't have Tariq bringing it back to me or him thinking that I had something to do with it. So let me take it to the next most reliable person who has a direct motivation to get her out the way. Let me tell Kane, because I know what the hell he's gonna do. But then Kane passes it off to fucking Braden.
Yeah,
it's like don't nobody really want to do Lauren in because they know they dead ass wrong for it. That's really what it is. They know they dead ass wrong. Don't nobody really want to do her in, but they know she gotta go. So it's like, and it's so messed up too because Lauren didn't have nothing to do with this, y'all. She didn't have shit to do with nothing. She didn't want to get involved in any of this. Milgram lied to her, told him that she was investigating Braden when they was really investigating Tariq. She got looped into investigating Tariq, tried to get her out of or testifying. She went through all of that. She didn't really want to be in none of this. The most she wanted to do was help Tariq's dumb ass.
Yep.
See, we're wanting to help Tariq get you.
Yeah.
Damn.
So here's my question with Effie and Kane. Is in talking with Kane is kind of, for lack of a better term, shitting on Mecca, called him like a dumbass. So I don't necessarily think Effie is also connected with Mecca. So what's the connection with Effie and Kane? Or what do you think is the connection with them two?
There is none. There is no connection with Effie and Kane. Effie needed to make sure that Lauren got out of the way.
So this is the first time they've ever met? Or this is one of the first times?
No, they've met in passing, I think, while he was working with Braden, if I'm not mistaken. So they've crossed paths before. But there's no connection beyond the fact that she knows that Kane will make sure that what needs to be done will get done. The surprise to me was that then he passed it off to Braden. Like, oh yeah, well, she trusts you, so she'll go with you. But like, my nigga, you don't need her to trust you to do what you do. You didn't need Jabari to trust you to do what you do. You didn't need Ramirez to trust you to do what you do.
True, but then another body makes things a little bit messier for Kane, does it not?
But if you're already connected to Braden, right? They have it. They have you on the wire speaking to her. So they know there's a connection there. They're not just going to let it go because Lauren disappears. So then Braden kills Lauren. He gets picked up on it. He gets caught and charged with it. Aren't you in the same situation you were just in with Lauren, only now you have someone who is even closer to you and knows even more about you? At least if you go do Lauren in, there's a degree of separation in between you and Lauren because they're still braiding.
But there's not a real degree of separation because you have motive to kill her.
You and another person. Why would you kill the one other person who has motivation to kill Lauren if you're going to kill Lauren? Why would you even threaten that? That don't even make any sense. How did Braden not put that together? So it's me and you up for the murder, and you saying you gonna kill me if I don't kill her?